Welcome to episode 5, and I thought I'd start this week with the promised January sale plant haul. So some of it is indoors, some of it is outdoors, and then the sun is shining, so I think it is Sunday planting day, and there's lots of sort of shrubs and more bulbs that need to go in. But we'll look at the shrubs and where they're going to go in the garden and what needs to be transported to the allotment as well. But first of all, let's share some bargains. These were 75p, and I thought what I was buying was something that I'd asked for Christmas, which is Fittonia. But since when I got home and compared it to the Fittonia I already have, not the same. So I looked it up, and these are hypostes. Yeah, I'll put the name on the screen. And they're often confused with Fittonia, but you can tell them apart because the hypostes has green veins, whereas Fittonias have white veins. So there we go. And they're a tiny pothos, which I have actually potted on since I got it. That was, I think, £1. This is similar to a pothos, but it's called a epirhymenum. We'll call it Happy Leaf. £3, so under half price. And then this actually was full price, but I did buy alongside these, and I think it was a bit of a bargain. This is a blue fern, and it just has great movement, and it's a really good oxygenator as well. And that was a £5. They also had bulbs for 50p. I don't need any more bulbs, but who can resist? And actually, I hadn't got any anemone. Doing well with my pronunciations today. And then I couldn't resist a couple of more alliums, particularly this lovely little pink one, a scilla. I may have this scilla already out there, but again, a short plant. And then my mum would kill me for buying muscari, or what we call grape hyacinth, because we have always considered it a bit of a weed. But this one is a two-tone one. There we go. And then, can you resist a bag of 40 narcissus for 50p? I don't think so. They're meant to be £8.25. The decorative basket, this was £35 down to £8.50. It has 7 plants in there, which I will divide once the begonia starts looking a little worse for wear. It did not include robins. Robins are my own addition. They were also from the garden centre for 20p. But so cute. So these are Serencina. There we go. And they are carnivorous bog plants. And I saw Katrina at Homegrown Garden buy some of these and coveted them ever since. They're quite expensive in garden centres. So I was thrilled with this bargain. 72p was £12. They're bog plants, so they want to be moist, so they're sitting in pond water, but in the lean-to. I'm not putting them outside just yet. They are hardy plants, but I just want to make sure I don't lose them. The idea for these is not for them to go into the main pond, where I haven't got much shallow areas, but rather into the wheelbarrow ponds, which have small washing up bowl ponds in them, because these want wet roots, but you don't want to get the crown wet. While we're here, these were a couple of bargains as well, but earlier in the year. This is a lime, and my lemon tree, which is looking a bit, the leaves are a bit yellowing, but look, there's a lemon. Saving that for a real special G&T. Okay, heading outside now. So this is the apple tree that I just bought. It looks really healthy, and there were lots of these apple trees there, but this was the only one reduced. But it's already got like a good shape. It's got kind of the cup thing. Ooh, let's come back a bit. The cup thing going on. So really happy with that, and I think I'll put this in the allotment. I did look up the variety Elstar when I came home. Apparently it's a real diva. It's not the easiest apple to grow. Now over here, oh, I just love these. Look at that colour in the winter. This is a calicarpa. This was on my list, and my cousin rang me from a garden centre yesterday to say she'd found it from. At the same time, she told me she was buying me this, which she knew I wanted, which is a Sambucus nigra black lace. It's a black elder with beautiful pink umbel flowers, and my sister has one which I took a cutting of, but I'm not convinced. I'm not very good at propagating. A tiny bargain heather, which looks a bit dull now it's at home, but when it was next to all the green and pink ones, it looked really striking. But now I know how to keep heathers alive. Dory, shush! Which is through planting them in ericaceous soil. I thought I would add that to my collection. And if you're wondering what this box is, I can't remember if I told you about this already, but I found it on the street, and I've planted tulips in it. So that should be a super display in spring. I think I might leave the lid up actually, because it might be drying out a bit in there. And because these tulips, or whatever's in here, is starting to come up. There we go. What do you think, Dory? Exciting. So this was not a January sale purchase, although it was on sale. This was my Christmas present from my mum, a boysenberry, which is a complicated cross between a blackberry, loganberry, dewberry and raspberry. Marvellous. Yeah, I really wanted this. I saw one in the garden centre discounted. It was the only one in the garden centre, discounted or not. And someone picked it up before me, and though I followed them around the garden centre, they didn't put it back. So the next time we went down there, I was on the lookout, and there were two. So my mum got me one of them for Christmas. So I'm super pleased with that one, and that needs to go in the ground as well today. So that was my January sale plant haul and additions. And now I actually have to do some work and get some of this stuff in the ground. Yes, Dory? She's wondering when she's having a walk. Bit of gardening first, then a walk. I'm at the back of the garden, which is where I've got my blueberry planter, which is full of ericaceous soil. So it's where I've been putting my heathers. Clearly I need 5 blueberry plants. You do need blueberries with a partner because they aren't self-pollinating, but yeah, it's excessive to have 5. Nevertheless, they're in this old pond kind of liner. The heathers, which normally just die on me, are doing wonderfully in here. So I want to put this new one in, but it's quite big, so I think I want that one in the back, where this little one, which used to live elsewhere and nearly died, I think I'll move that into the smaller space here and put this bigger one at the back. So that is job number 1 for today. This is so much more satisfying now it's in a proper pattern with the 5 blueberries and then 4 heathers in the gaps. There is a random viola just stuck in the middle of that blueberry. Don't know where that came from. But yeah, happy with that. Job 1 done. Okay, job 2 is the boysenberry plant, I think. I'm primarily doing the ones I know where I want them to go, because there's so many things I'm just not sure of. But this one I know because I take you around to this border. I already have a raspberry. This is a summer fruiting raspberry. So berries will be on this year's growth, but this year's growth is awful. It's done nothing, possibly because of the drought. However, the tayberry has this very one long vine on it, and that goes all the way over there to join up with this one, which is the loganberry, I believe, which is very vigorous and has lots of stems on. And so that's travelling over. This is still loganberry? So loganberry is going along here, but then I thought the boysenberry can go beside them. I have currants on the other side. This is the sort of raspberry and raspberry variation side. So that's going to go in there. These are all probably planted too close together, but I'm not worrying about that. So this one's going in there. Job 2. Quite a large hole because I'm going to put some compost in the bottom as well. You can see these roots that are from the old conifers, I guess, but they're just snapping off now because the tree is gone. There was its stump, and there's worms in here. These seedlings are nothing important. They have just come up in the compost because this has been spread with my homemade compost. So this says to encourage vigorous new growth and help establish cut all stems back to 1 foot above ground at planting time. To prune, therefore, each winter just cut out the dead canes that fruited the previous summer and train in the new. Okay. So it's like a summer fruiting raspberry. But for now, 1 foot above ground. Okay. There we are. I think that's about 30 centimetres, and I also took out the old canes that were dead. Look at this one. I think I'll just leave them as they are. I'm not going to stake them or anything. They've been firmed in well, or it has been firmed in well. Yeah. So now on to deciding what's going to go all along here. So in an effort to try and figure this out, I've grouped the plants that need to go out. I'm none the wiser, but I just love it. The Chinese lantern plant. Oh, there we go. Not sure what to do with that. May just keep it in the pot for a while. This is a saponaria. So this is pinky, so I really want that in my pinky border. Okay, that's fine. The erigeron, oh, I love erigeron. I've already got some in these planters over here, which will hopefully come back next year. And I've got a little bit on the front as well. Oh, look who's come to say hello. Come to help, Dory? Come to ask where her breakfast is. These are geraniums from the kind of hardy geraniums from the allotment sale. This is a bamboo. It is a non-invasive bamboo, winter hardy. So that I want to screen perhaps for next door, near the house. These are my two ceanthus. They're clearly different varieties because they look very different. Yeah, I don't quite know how I ended up with two of them, but this one's really tall as well. So that might go in the new border. Here's a hydrangea that was like from B&Q for like £1. This is a honeysuckle that has been in the ground before and not done very well. So now I was in a pot and deciding where to go. These are my two Hebes. So we've got this one, Dory. This one, Frozen Flame. And then this one, which is looking not so healthy. Try again. This Hebe called True Love. But yeah, it's looking a bit worse for wear, that one. Needs to get in the ground. I've already talked about the elder, black elder, and the, can't say this word, calacarpa, there we go. Now these are the viburnums. Right, this one's looking great and has lovely buds on it as well. Ooh, there we go. Yes, Dory. So those are the flowers and those are the berries. Now, in order to get the berries, you need to have a male and a female plant. I only bought one plant, so I wanted to buy another plant so that I would get the blueberries, but you don't know if a plant is male or female just by looking at it in the summer. Anyway, I seem to have made the right choice because the partner that I bought it does have blueberries on. Yay! This one, the leaves are looking a bit, yeah, might have to look that up, but hopefully it's fine and they can go in together. Okay. Lastly, oh no, penultimate plant is the eucalyptus. I do think this is fantastic and it might be nice against this fence because it's quite airy and so the sun can get through, but it's creating some sort of barrier because now that the conifers have gone, I'm looking straight into next door's garden. So lastly, clematis, which will have this lovely white flower, and I've got other clematis trying to establish in the garden, so this will be another. It's looking fairly dead at the moment, but I think that's okay. The ones I've got over here that were lovely and bushy in the summer are also looking very dead. I think you cut them down about February or something like that. Okay, this isn't a snake in my garden. Well, it is, not a real one. This is a toy snake that I tried to use to keep the birds off of my seedlings. It did not work. So as I can't still decide where to put any of these, I am going to plant a bay tree into my herb border. So this bay tree was gifted by my neighbour. It was a little bay Christmas tree. I found it in my porch when I got home from work one day, which was a delightful surprise. I already do have one bay, but I put it on the other side of the pond where I can't actually reach it very easily. So this one's going in the dedicated herb border or bed. from the dog walk and from an impromptu visit to the garden centre. The garden centre is pretty close to where we park when we take the dog down to the canal, so it seemed rude not to. And being that we're doing a January plant sale video, here are some additions now. I was restrained. I only bought 2 more packs of 50p bulbs, and they're both ones that I haven't got, so hyacinths. So a soft pink one called Fondant, and then a bright pink one called Woodstock. So I'm adding them here to the pile of bulbs that need to be planted. And then the only other thing I got was a little ornamental cabbage, because I just love these. So we'll find a spot for that outside. That was £1. Okay, so it's lunchtime now, and then I will reassess this afternoon's planting situation. Dungers are back on. My problem is that if I start putting the bulbs in and then want the shrubs to go where the bulbs are, I'm going to end up digging up the bulbs. But if I try and do the shrubs first, I just still haven't decided where they want to go, and I want to give myself time to put them in the right place, but the bulbs haven't got time to wait. So what I think I'll do is plant some bulbs in pots and just put the very short ones into the very edges of the borders, because the shrubs won't be going to the very edges anyway. I think that's the best plan. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. So seeing as I didn't do a bulb lasagna when I was planting the fritillary, I'll do on with the bulbs that I have left now. So they are the Woodstock hyacinth. Look at the size of those bulbs, and very much ready to be planted. So they, flowering time March, April, 25 centimetre height. So I think they'll be at the bottom. These are May, June, 25 centimetre height. Oh, so maybe they're at the bottom. They want 8 centimetres, 10 centimetres deep. It doesn't really matter how deep they go, because they will eventually push their way up. These are only 5 centimetres high, and these are the March, April. So those are the ones that want to be on top, which they are the anemone. Okay, so I think I will put the hyacinths, although they will come up before the allium. I think I'll put those in the bottom because they're just huge and they need to be deep. So 5 of these. Those anemones needed soaking like the ranunculus, but it didn't say that on the packet. They're very hard little weird looking things. I've never planted them before. I'm just going to water it well and hope for the best. I've decided I'm fed up of dilly-dallying and being indecisive, So I've basically just arranged my shrubs and I'm going to plonk them in and hope for the best, which is generally my gardening method. So once these are in, then I can put the narcissus around them, and maybe that'll look like a fairly nice border come spring. I think I just generally feel happier once those are in the ground, and I can give all my attention then to the allotment. Okay, some serious planting to be done now. Let's go for it. Currently in the lean-to, rained off, soil everywhere, but not defeated. There's still an hour or two left of light. It's only light rain. We have a little breather and then get back out there. So no fair weather gardening here, pushed on. So all the shrubs are in the new border, and I'm now just going to plant in the narcissus. So I place them between the shrubs, and they should create a nice colourful backdrop to these guys as they get established. So now just need to get these in. The fairy lights have come on the trees, so it's probably time to call it quits. It's getting a bit dark. I can't really see if I got all my bulbs in after I arranged them in the border, and it's going to be light enough for you to get the full effect of all the work I did today. Thanks for all your help, Dory. Good job. Now I bet you want to walk. Want to walk? Yes. Walkies. Come on then. Come on then.